Well, guys, I'm still waiting. Been here a while. Haven't seen many people. Someone going to a bin. Went back inside again. Doesn't look very busy. But while I was waiting, I just thought I'd watch one of the auditors that I watch. And this is quite interesting, so I'll stick it on. It's about 50 minutes long, so if you're not interested, you just turn it off. But I think this needs to be shown in England to the police, because this guy from Long Island Audits actually interviewing a copper. Well, he's made friends with this copper, and it's a good story. And police in England ought to watch this and contact a few of these auditors and start yourself some training.
Hey, what's up guys? Long Island Audit here, back again with another video. Today coming to you live from an undisclosed location in Florida. I'm supposed to be on vacation, but I just had to do this live because it's so important to me, and I really appreciate
it is, mate.
Our special guest. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, guys, so this is my special guest here, Matt Thornton. Really appreciate him. You know, I don't know how many people who watched our first video where we had a great discussion, amazing discussion the first time. So I had to bring you back. You've done some major things, you know, in your life and in other people's lives since the last time we spoke. So I wanted to bring you back and have a nice little chat. It's always good to talk to you, and thank you for coming, my friend.
You know, I always appreciate you, Sean, man. I love being here, and I'm addicted to your channel. So I see your voice probably more than any other voice that I see, man. I love it.
Thanks, man. But yeah, so everybody in the chat, say hi to Officer Matt Thornton. You know, I've been looking at the chat. Everybody supports you just like I do. You know, it's so refreshing to hear from somebody like you and your point of views and your opinions that you have. You know, just for people who didn't watch the first video, you know, the way Matt and I started talking was he had like a viral video on TikTok, right? Yeah, so he had a viral video on TikTok where he talks about, listen, it's like a PSA to all law enforcement officers out there, and he's basically saying, you know, don't engage. Why are we getting involved with, you know, why are we acting this way towards First Amendment auditors? He's like, it's not illegal, it's not suspicious, no, you can't have their ID. And it went viral with, like, how many views does it have, Matt?
Oh my gosh, it's got several million, I believe.
I think last time I checked, it had a few million views, and I was like, and I actually stumbled upon it just randomly, and I reached out to him and I was like, hey man, I followed him. And I was like, hey man, you know, I'd love to talk to you. And we had our first video. I'll link that to the video in the description of this video, but it was a great time. So Matt, real quick, if you want to just explain for people who didn't watch the first video that we did together, how did you end up becoming a police officer, and how did you end up doing what you're doing now, which is, you know, line stepping, right? That's the hashtag. See the hashtags on your video. Line stepping.
So yeah, like I said, I never aspired to be a police officer. I hated cops growing up. I had a huge vendetta with them. So I really just took the job. I got hired when I was 28 or 29. I just took the job because I was barely past high school, never went to college, never went to military. I just tried kind of as a gag. I never thought I'd even become a cop. So when I got the job, it was for the money, it was for the pay raise. And then when I got it, I still felt a lot of ways about policing. And it shocked me when I got it. I was totally ill prepared for the attitude, what it took mentally away from you as being an officer. The stress is not just from what you see, but the stress is from how they're telling me I'm supposed to act, and how it was a culture of us against them. And I hated that because I police in the city that I grew up in. And I just really resented that from day one. And it took a toll on my mental health. So long story short, I went down this long, dark road of depression and thinking that I was a sellout, and thinking that I hated what I do now. And I was on the verge of taking my own life. And then God saved me in 2013. And then he showed me kind of how to use that badge that I hated to glorify him. So I ended up starting a non-for-profit that is really, really successful. I help kids get off the street. We try to save their lives. Gang members, high risk, what you would call high risk youth. It's blown up, and then someone told me to just write all this stuff down, and I finally ended up writing a book about the whole path. The book is kind of geared towards the mental health side. There's more to come, more to the story that's coming. So yeah, that's how we got here. And then I started making videos, kind of speaking out my true heart about what's wrong with policing, and I do it in a fashion that kind of caught a lot of attention. I get a lot of heat for what I say, but the truth hurts some people. So that's how I ended up making certain videos, and that's the one that you found. Yeah, that's how I am. I gotta speak truth. I can't be phony. I don't do phony.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, I don't sense anything phony about you. But it just amazes me. That's why I want you to tell the story again. It's because it's like you grew up hating the police to later become a police officer, and that blows weird, my mind. It blows my mind to become a police officer after you just grew up hating the police. Because I remember you told last time, I was like, why did you hate the police? It's because you just had bad experiences with them as you were growing up, and you were treated badly, and you knew how it was, and then you just took the job just to have a job. And now look at you. You've been a police officer for how long now with your department?
18 years next week.
18 years next week. Well, happy early anniversary for your 18 years, Matt.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I really think it's amazing. I think it's amazing what you're doing.
Yeah, I appreciate these opportunities, and what drew me to you, like when you reached out, and then I checked out what you do. It's like we both have this. It's almost like there's nothing wrong with being angry towards what's been going on, but if you do it righteously, it's like a righteous anger, and you go about it the right way. I think that it'll be blessed because we speak truth, but we do it wanting to see a change. We're not doing it just to be ugly or just to point out people or just be hateful. We're doing it because, man, we want to just make this better, make this relationship, break this bridge down. So we have the same heart.
Yeah, I'm all about bridging the gap. I was, we speak off camera, of course. I consider you a friend, man. I really do, and for sure. And I just actually got finished doing the training, First Amendment audit training, and at a police department. And I thought that was an amazing opportunity for me. A police department in Ohio, they reached out to me and said, hey, we watch your videos here. We love what you do. We love what you stand for. Can you come? We want to do a training. Can you come help us do that training?
Good on it.
And I was, floored. I couldn't believe it because that's so much progress to me just for that happening. I thought just speaking with you on camera and seeing you how outspoken is like speaking the truth is really what you do. So, how you just speak the truth and doesn't matter what anybody thinks about it. For that department in Ohio to reach out to me, and I went there and I met them, and we got dinner. We had the training. It was 2 4-hour classes. It was a great experience. And if I could only change if I can make one little change in the world in my entire life, I'll be happy. If I can make one change in what's going on between policing and the public and help bridge that gap, even just a little bit, because everybody knows that my channel is not about, us against them. It's about, let's call out, and the same thing that you do. Let's call out the bad ones. Let's get them fired. Let's get them out of there, because a bad cop is the most dangerous thing when it comes to a good officer like yourself.
Yeah, that's what gets us hurt, and that's what puts us in more danger. So then that's awesome. I did the Ohio thing. That is great.
Yeah.
That is great.
No, it was so much fun. We talked to the police chief, the detective from Internal Affairs. He had a bunch of opinions and crazy feelings about my videos, because as a law enforcement officer, you watch these videos and you watch the way these other law enforcement officers act, and you're like, what? And when I file internal affairs report and they completely lie and try, and when there's video evidence, I can't believe it. I was just arrested the other day, and actually on my way, I was driving on my way to do the speaking right at the Ohio Police Department. I'll be putting out the video soon. I'll make sure to send it to you so you can watch it. But it's such a good video. But on my way there, I stopped at a post office to do an audit in Hagerstown, Maryland, and I actually got arrested. And the detective that I spoke with, my friend at that Ohio Police Department, he was like, "Listen, just don't get arrested. I want you to be here. You know, I told him I'm gonna do some auditing before I go there. He's like, all right, just don't get arrested. He jinxed me. So detective, you know, me and him, we have an issue because he jinxed me. But I went to the post office, they arrested me. But the whole point is that I'm like, listen, man, they lied. He's like, I know, I watched the video already. I'm like, they lied about me. They didn't say, you know, no postal employee told me to leave. When they asked me to leave, they put in the police report that I said, oh, I don't have to. Just a bunch of lies. And it's like, how do you lie when you know something's on camera? Like, how do you do that? And it's like, you just took away my freedom for 6 hours, and I went through all this BS, and it's like, I'm trying to help, and all you did by arresting me was hurt the relationship with the community. Now, if I was a closed-minded individual, I'd be like, you know what, I'm gonna go speak with police officers right now, forget them, you know. I keep getting arrested no matter how nice I am, how, you know, respectful I treat them, how within the bounds of the law that I act. You know, I just keep getting arrested. I keep getting put in handcuffs. I keep being put in the car when the car is not turned on, and you know it's 85 degrees outside. Like, all these things keep happening to me. But you know what? We all go through trials and tribulations, right, Matt? And we have to. If we're not going through those, it means we're not doing something right, in my opinion. You know, it's not going to be easy. This is not going to be easy for us to affect change. You know, you've talked about in your videos a lot about how you have gone. If you want to speak on that, how you have received so much hate and criticism based on what you do?
Yeah, it's I get it's a lot of keyboard warriors. I say I get a lot of that. I've gotten hate mail. I've gotten plenty
Keyboard
of people.
warriors.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a lot of tough guys.
I know a few of those. I know a few of those guys.
But yeah, and you can't help. I'm a human being. Like, sometimes, like, they say some terrible, bothersome things, and a lot of guys around. I got a certain reputation around the PDs around here, but I just know that what I'm doing is blessed, and I know that I'm just speaking the truth out of love, because in the end, we just want to see the same thing. And what you do, and the fact that I think it bothers a lot of people, that I absolutely love what you do, and love you personally, because you're my man. You pick up you do more than you even realize, because you actually will sharpen the skills of any seasoned officer. Like, I watch some of your videos, I'm like, you know what? Let me research some of that so I can tell these dudes, and I can pass along some of the information that you have, because we're street cops. We deal with a lot of violent situations and shootings and stuff. That's kind of what we specialize in. But the little nuances that you the points that you make, I mean, you clean up our game, because it helps us. And if you want to be open-minded, there's cops that can learn so much from you, brother. That's why I admire what you do.
You know, and it's very humbling, because I've, you know, lawyers, attorneys have reached out to me on YouTube, ones that have YouTube channels, and they're like, hey, listen, I've learned, and these people are, you know, very intelligent, to pass the bar, to go to law school. I didn't do any of that. I never claimed to. But, you know, for them to say, hey, I've learned a lot from you, from police officers like yourself, like, hey, I've learned something from you. I've learned from your video. I've learned not only just about the law, but how to remain calm, because I'm very big into controlling my emotions, because I feel that I've lost when my first question, when people see me at Six Flags, when I'm kids, anywhere I go, you know, I'll run into some question they ask is, how so calm? How do you stay so calm? And my answer is because I know what I'm doing is right. I believe in what I'm doing. I am what I'm doing. I firmly believe in what I'm doing, and I believe that I am right. So as far as I believe my purpose is genuine, and you know, it's coming from a place of wanting to bridge this gap, which is why we're talking. So it's, I don't let them get upset, because I don't want any other man or woman to ever control my emotions, because that means they're controlling me. You know, they could say whatever they want. I was told to go back to my country by a correctional officer. Yeah, I was a million other things I've been told 20 years ago. You did a video on your TikTok. I really invite everybody, I really invite everyone to go check out his TikTok. It's in the description below. he makes a bunch of, you know, great videos. He uses a lot of copyright music that you can use on TikTok that we can't use on YouTube.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to show them to you, but I just scroll through them because they're really good. But yeah, he did a video on the 20 years ago I'd be dead with my teeth missing. You know, Officer Glenn Utter from the Danbury Police Department, when he said that to me, or he said that to his fellow officer, and his fellow officer said, absolutely. Now think about that. 20 years ago, he would have been dead with his teeth missing. I would have done it myself. That's a direct quote of Officer Glenn Utter. And absolutely, for him to say something like that, what an embarrassment on his department, on law enforcement, you know, just an embarrassment of a human being just to say something like that. And the consequences were a 9-day vacation, a 9-day suspension. So, you know, does the consequences justify his words? No, I don't believe so. And I appreciate you for making a video about it, really.
And you know how much that sets us back.
Don't do this.
I'm personally at war with that culture, like that mentality, because there's this old. It's almost like an old school, new school type of mentality. Like before there were cameras, I've done videos about that too, about how comfortable and reckless people thought they were entitled to speak to other people, and talking about what we used to do, what we did. Like, you're talking about criminal activity. Like, what separates you from a criminal? And from day one, when I hear all these stories, and every cop, they're lying if they say they haven't heard these old school type of stories and this and what we used to do, that type of mentality. That's what I'm at war with, and that's what I think a lot of new generation cops are at war with. But that trash puts us in jeopardy. Like all the good ones, that we just want to be cool with the community, and we understand that we work for you, and it's not vice versa. It's not us against them. But when I see stuff like that, man, it just it puts such a detriment on our progress.
Yeah.
It made me sick.
And use the word, you know, use the term professional peacekeepers, right? That's in your videos. You use that word. You know, that's what. And I tell everybody that I come across now. You know, I use that all the time now. I stole it from you, but you know, I think it's so great. You're a professional peacekeeper. You're getting, you know, you're getting paid by the taxpayers to keep the peace, to protect and serve. No one is advocating here for, you know, I've never advocated that, you know, to get rid of all of laws, or, you know, I support law and order. Like, if you're a criminal and you're hurting people, you should be held accountable for that. But, you know, for somebody recording, or, you know, all these videos that you've done a whole bunch of videos on your TikTok, that you see, like, how where they try and, you know, assert dominance where it's not necessary, or, you know, it's all, and every officer I've ever spoken to, even when I spoke with the officers at that police department in Ohio, they told me, they all say the same thing. It's the ego. They can't let go of their ego. They're ego maniacs, that they have this badge in the gun that they makes them feel superior, and they want to exert that authority on the public, which is, you know, despicable to me. We're supposed to be all together. You know, we're not supposed to be divided, and for you to try and divide us, and people that say, you know, it's only a few cops. You know, I can tell you from my personal experience, I've been around the country, and I've seen the same mentality throughout the whole country, because you need to understand that these officers are training the new generation of officers. And, you know, you had told me a story about, you know, how you have to control the situation, and you were like, well, what about showing compassion? And we were like, oh, you're going to be a horrible officer, right?
Yeah.
Something like that, right?
Yep, that actually,
you're going to be a horrible officer. I can't believe it. It's like, you will be a horrible officer if you show compassion.
That was the mentality, and that's kind of what they train you. See, officers, when you become a rookie officer, and when you start, it's almost like monkey see, monkey do, and you kind of take on the personality of who's training you, and you can't do anything as a rookie, because if you're always on probation, they can get rid of you, and for anything. So you kind of, it's a catch-22, because you sort of don't really have a say, and I hated that. If I say something, it could come back and get me back on the street. So I couldn't wait to be able to sound off. I never did anything. I observed some things, but I never did anything myself. But once I got known as the guy that would speak out, all I got to do is speak out once. And the guys that do all that stuff, they're not going to do it in front of you. I proved it early on that I'm going to say something. and it changed the tone of how people act around you, and that's what I encourage. I like be that be that dude with that reputation that you know what, pull that nonsense in front of me. I dare you to, because I'm gonna go
Mhm.
right up front and I'm gonna turn you right in, and then
Yep.
that bad behavior will stop around you.
Yep. And I think that's the major number one problem in law enforcement from the outside looking in. I think that's the number one problem is the brotherhood, that
Yeah.
mentality that, I can't turn in my brother because if I turn in my brother, right, everybody else is going to hate me. I'm going to be ostracized from the group. The union's going to come down hard on me. Or, I've seen unions have way more power than, police chiefs, where the
Exactly.
department will have a really good police chief who honors his oath, and but there's nothing, his hands are tied because his power is not as great, especially here in the Northeast. With our, the unions over here are extremely strong. So I've seen that
Mhm.
happen over and over again. And again, you could be to any officer watching this, be the change, because it might not be easy. It's not easy for me. It's not easy for Matt, but it's definitely worth it because it gives you a satisfaction in your heart that you're doing, and your soul, that you're doing the right thing, and you're protecting your community from tyrants. We have
Mhm.
to get rid of all these tyrants in all these police departments because they're hurting people. They're violating people's rights. They're taking away people's freedoms. They're costing taxpayers millions and millions of dollars in settlements and lawsuits and everything else. So it's just not worth it. It's not worth it. And I've seen it firsthand, the retribution where a paramedic came to one of my protests in Danbury, and his fiance called me the next day, and she emails me and she says, you know, they said that the police department contacted my husband and said, watch your back on the street because we're not going to watch it for you anymore. Simply from coming to a protest of somebody that he supports. He didn't say anything against the police or anything. He just said that he supports me, and because he supported me, he had to watch his own back. So if they do that to a paramedic, if they do that to Matt, ladies and gentlemen, right, one of their own, if he gets all this hate from the inside, you can only imagine how they're going to treat people that defy them, that don't wear a gun and a badge or aren't a paramedic, and that's the scary part.
Yeah,
Really is.
they hate when I use that analogy. You guys want to get on me? I'm supposed to be your brother. How do you treat the average gang member on the street corner that ain't done nothing to you?
Hmm.
That's they get triggered to that. And then I would say this, Sean. I always say that, and this gets a lot of people upset, but it's the truth. I did not get this job to be some part of some blue fraternity. I just didn't. I got the job because I love people, and I have my idea of this job is I'm one of the neighborhood. I bet people should be happy to see me. I don't get into all of that. I'm totally respectful. I got my brother's back if they need it. My partners and stuff. But I did not get this job to be part of some blue fraternity. I
Hmm.
got the job because I love the world and I want to make it better.
And you
Sean,
definitely are
appreciate
doing that. I've read, it's a perfect segue into your book because I read your book. Thank you for sending it to me. It was,
Oh, I got you.
I'm pretty sure I read it in a day, honestly. And
Yeah,
I
it's
wanted to
pretty
keep, I
quick.
wanted to keep,
Shakespeare.
I wanted to keep reading it. There was like, I felt like there was more to the story. I'm like, come on, there's got to be more to this. Because I know there is. Because I know, how many people, what kind of people have you helped, and with your nonprofit, and all the things that you've done. Like, I felt, I know you're going to write another book. You have to. So
Of course, that was
and I wait.
segue.
And at first, I wanted to tell you, I really appreciate you sending me the book. And I got to send you some We the People merch and some Long Island Audit merch. I got to
Oh
send
yeah,
that. I got to.
I'll rock it, brother. I
I
got
gotta,
you.
I gotta, I gotta get that over to you. Maybe we can even like collab on a design with you and I, and
Uh huh.
we could put it on a T-shirt and put it on the store on Long Island Audit Store, and the proceeds can go to your nonprofit. I would love to
Oh,
help
that'd
you.
be
I would love to
great.
do that.
Oh man,
I
that'd be
would love
great.
to do that for sure. I would love to do that. But yeah, so you wrote a book. It's called "Copping Crisis to Copping Christ," right?
Hmm.
If you do you want to, if you tell everybody about that book because it's an amazing book, guys. Really, it is.
It's really it's the long version of the journey. I actually got one. My girlfriend left one right next to the desk here. I got it sitting right here. Um, it's it's really a long description of what I had talked about. My journey, my unlikely journey to becoming a cop. Like I
Mhm.
said, no high school, no college, no military. I had been charged with a felony as a youngster for packing an illegal pistol. Had a lot of gang members associated in my family with. So it was really just such an unlikely story that I'd become a cop. So I kind of got into it with a different perspective than the usual cop that dreams about that since they were a kid. So it kind of covers that journey, and then my journey into the how shocking it was when I first became a cop, and then putting up with all the mental stress that came from inside and outside of the badge, and then to God saving me, which was um, really the whole story points to that moment when God decided for unknown reasons to come and save me in the weirdest, unlikely way, in a parking lot. So it was pretty crazy, and yeah, my journey. And then I kind of I didn't want to just be name all the problems, so I kind of wrapped the book up with solutions that I believe are just simple solutions that we could use to improve what's wrong with the badge. And then go right into the story of how I started my nonprofit out of all of that. And it's my nonprofit is that you see my face light up with
Yeah.
that. I
No,
absolutely love
I
all
want to show everybody. I'm gonna put it on the right here. So this is the book. The link is in the description, guys. All the profits go to his support his nonprofit, My Father's Business. And My Father's Business, you know, I pretty much knew from the get go what that was about. But if you want to explain it to them, why is it called My Father's Business? Because I know, as you know, I know why it's called it, but why is it? Explain to everybody.
I called it that because what I do is I teach I take the most unlikely kids right now. They're all right off the streets. A lot of them gang members. A lot of them are into criminal activity. I welcome them into my house, and people thought I was crazy for doing that. And I was like, no, I'm about God's business. And then it just made sense that that's a verse right out of the Bible, Luke
Out of
chapter
the
2.
Bible. Luke.
I'm
Yep.
about my Father's business. So, yep. And I wanted
About my
people just to
Father's business.
understand, like, you may not get this, but I'm about God's business. So I I invite whoever wants to come. I don't care what you did. You come in. I'm gonna feed you. I'm gonna try to mentor you. Let you play ball. But the most important thing is I'm gonna walk with you. I'm gonna love you and understand where you came from. And a lot of heartbreaking stories, but there's so many glorious, unbelievable stories that have come out of there.
Yeah.
God has saved innumerable kids out of there, and it's just that we've been able to pour. And I don't even keep track of the numbers very much because my sister's in charge of that. But it's well over $250,000 we poured back into the city directly to the kids. Um,
Wow.
we get them jobs now. We get them help them get into college. We try to intervene. We settle street beefs. And it's just gone so well with how I do my job too, because I don't just talk about it. Like on the street, you'll find me seeing who's shooting at who, and we try to get right directly involved. And most 9 times out of 10, it's kids that I've mentored, so we can sit them down. We can see how can we solve this, and we've done quite a lot of behind the scenes thing that a lot of people don't even realize. So it's been beautiful for my city.
Yeah. I'm sure you're respected by everyone in your community, and you know, to have that kind of, you know, outreach towards your community where you can reach out to, you know, known gang members and, you know, people that you've tried to help, and or you know, and find a peaceful solution that doesn't always
Yeah.
end up, you know, wrong. But these, so I wanted to show everybody this really quick because I was reading all the reviews, you know. Yeah, because I read the book and then I was like, wow, this is good. I have to still leave my review. But look, people took the time to write these long reviews, you know, and it's not just, I want to make sure that everybody knows it's not just for police officers, right? It's
No,
for
not
anybody
at all.
going through any sort of depression. You know, it's not just a book for law enforcement officers. Like, it is a very, very good book. Trust me and believe me, you know, and it supports a good cause right here. My Father's
Yeah,
Business.
that's a typical Friday. The picture on the right, that's typical Friday at my father's business. We
Look at
just,
that.
we have
Look
a
at that.
great time.
He does really good work. And while we're here, first of all, I want to ask everybody that's in here to please hit the like button and share this live, so you know the world can see that, you know, it's not just First Amendment auditors versus law enforcement. You know, we can come together to help the world, to help our communities, you know, to come together in Christ, because it's very important to me. So if you could just hit the like button and share the video. Now, that being said, I also wanted to, my friend Matt here doesn't know, but I also wanted to, from me personally, from Long Island Audit, I wanted to personally pledge $1,000 towards your nonprofit, because I've done I've seen so much good that you're doing. You truly are doing God's work, and I want to do my part. I would love to and come down and meet all of you, and come down and meet the whole family and everything. I'd love to go down there, but I want to pledge $1,000, and any sort of money that's made from this live stream. Anybody that's doing super chats, I'm going to be donating it to his nonprofit. You did not know about that, right? But
Oh my God, Sean, man, you are the best. Oh my gosh, you made me cry up here. Don't be making me emotional now, Sean.
no, man, I really appreciate you, man, and I love what you do, and I see that you're doing God's work, man, and I tell you all the time in our conversations, and I want to do my part to help. So I will be donating $1,000 to your nonprofit.
Oh man.
On behalf of We the People, I'm going to put in the memo We the People, because I couldn't be in the position where I'm at today without the people, right? And the same thing with you. I'm sure you get donations from your community and everything else. So, we're only as strong as who we have behind our back. And number one, we have the big man, right? So that's all we really need. But we also have the people that come together and support us so we can do great work. And you are doing great work, and I really appreciate it. So I hope that helps. Thank you.
Man,
thank you for what you do. Thank you for what you do, man.
Thank you for what you do.
If anybody wants to go support my father's business, like I am personally, you could do it here. There's like a donate section over here. But he's doing great work. I would love to come down. I'm actually going to be in Illinois August 10th. I wanted to show you this. This is another thing I wanted to show you. I'll be in Illinois August 10th. And I don't know if you've seen this video, but I wanted to show you. So I'll be in Illinois August 10th for a trial, actually, right?
Oh, that's going to trial? I know, I've seen it.
For Berwyn, right? So I wanted to show you and everybody else really quick, just so we could see it all together. I've showed it a million times, but I'll show it 1,000,001 because it's so absurd. This is my crime here. This interaction. City administration. Hi, how are you? What office is this?
I'm the city administrator.
You're the city administrator?
I am.
Hi.
Are you recording me?
I am recording you.
I would ask that you not record me, please.
Well, you're a public official, obviously. You're the city
I'm not
administrator.
elected. and I'm
That wouldn't
asking-
matter.
Yes, it does.
That you're
If you
not
go to our
elected.
doors,
Yeah,
I am not elected.
but that doesn't matter. You still work
If you
for the
go to our
government.
doors,
Still
you
work for
will
the
see
public.
on our doors, we have a sign, no recordings are allowed unless we give permission.
I-
I am not giving you permission.
I
It is
did.
a state law,
I did see that sign.
and then we
And-
follow state law here.
It's a state law.
It is.
Okay. So,
We talk outside.
who are you, sir?
Detective Monaco,
Are you
from the police department.
police department here?
Yes.
I see.
Okay.
It's ages
The sign up.
years ago.
I'm not going to.
Sure. I'm Ruth Ciaba Green.
Ruth.
Ruth Ciaba Green.
Ciaba
I'm the
Green.
city administrator.
Okay. Thank you, Ruth. So that right there, the video is obviously longer than that, but that woman, the city administrator Ruth Ciaba Green, and her husband, who is a division commander for the Berwyn Police Department with 5 federal lawsuits, I believe, against him for unlawful arrest, excessive force, all manner of things that I've read these complaints. Not a nice guy if what is being alleged in those 5 federal lawsuits, and he keeps getting promoted. Wonder why? Do you think it's because his wife is Ruth Ciaba Green? But the point I want to make is that because of that 1 minute clip right there, I'm going to trial for disorderly conduct. And I think it's relevant to you as a law enforcement officer in the state of Illinois. It's just it comes to a point. I don't know if you remember, there was the statute that she was referring to in the video. That was an Illinois state statute for eavesdropping, right? So, I remember there was a time where, law enforcement officers in Illinois, they used to use that law against people who were recording and stuff, and then it was deemed unconstitutional. And it really, since it's been deemed unconstitutional and the legislator changed it, no one's really used it like this before because it's absurd to use it. So I was arrested for felony eavesdropping, long story short, and they ended up changing it to, because it's unconstitutional. They changed it to
Yeah,
disorderly
I remember that.
conduct.
I remember it used to be like that. Years
Yeah.
was years ago.
Yeah. And that's what I was, and that's my point, is that they used to try and use that for filming against them. Now they're playing music and stuff like that, so that way it could
I
get
saw that.
taken down from YouTube. You did a video on it. I know it's ridiculous, and anybody who can watch, any reasonable person who can watch that clip, because she's the complaint and she's the complaint. So that was my only interaction with her. So anybody can watch that short interaction with her and say that she was, first of all, she didn't look alarmed to me. She didn't look, it's just, I was more than cordial with her. Like, if that's disorderly conduct, we're on a slippery slope. And for that, the state's attorney, Cook County State's attorney, will be prosecuting me to the fullest extent of the law. And we will be going to trial on August 10th. So I will be out in Illinois. If anybody else wants to come and watch it, I'm trying to get it live streamed. So I'm looking for permission from the court to do that, so that way the world can watch. That would be amazing. I don't see why not. The state's attorney, Alyssa Dunbar, she has already objected because she doesn't like transparency, I guess. She wouldn't want, what's the problem with it being live streamed? I don't know. We have to watch it on a day. I'm sorry?
It live stream inside the actual courtroom?
Yeah, live stream the actual case. Yeah.
Oh,
We're trying. I'm trying to get that done. It happens in high profile cases. There's nothing illegal about it, but you would need the judge's permission, and you would need the judge's permission. And I'm trying to get that now. I doubt I'm going to get it. But if anybody wants to go to Illinois, to Berwyn, to Cook County, and watch the trial, I appreciate the support. I've received many emails saying people have already booked hotels and everything. So I really appreciate the support. I will definitely be there. Don't want to fail to appear. We're going to be fighting for our rights and doing the right thing, and I'll be there for a little bit. I'll be in Illinois for a while, so hopefully I would love to meet you in person. That would be great.
Oh, I'm like probably, man, it's not very far. Maybe 40 minutes.
Oh yeah, 40 minutes. Oh, cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I would love to come meet you in person. Come see what my father's business is all about. I think it would be cool. I think it'd be a lot of fun.
Man. Sean, I'm telling you, you will fall in love with what we do. Dude, I should let you. I should stick you on some of these ones in my city. I sneak you in there. I'll be with you. Give me a camera. I'm gonna go right alongside you.
That'd be great. No, you never know. I might come to your city unexpectedly, and we'll see what happens. But you said you said that your mayor knows what he supports you and what you do, and let's hope that I won't run into no serious problems where I'm getting prosecuted by. It's just ridiculous, Matt. Really, like, it's ridiculous. Like, I don't see how are you wasting this much resources on that simple video you just saw. Like, there was nothing disorderly about what I did. There was nothing. I don't get it. Ego.
Yeah, I'd seen that from the beginning. I didn't know that that was still going on.
Yeah. Still, August 10th is the trial date. So we're gonna see what happens. I guess hopefully we can get some things done. All right, guys. I want to take some questions. So if you have any questions for me or Matt, I'll put them up on the screen so we can answer them. Okay, you saying that somebody said I need to go after judges and DAs. Well, when you mean go after, you mean like, I'm assuming you mean like, with a camera for accountability and transparency, nothing else, because I'm peaceful. But they're insulated. They're in the courthouse and they do what they want.
Yeah, that'd be.
And this is gonna cost the city of Berwyn, money. And they've paid out for her husband before. Now they're gonna be paying out for her. They settled cases for her husband, who keeps getting promoted despite allegedly beating men up, getting his gun. He got into this is all in the lawsuit, that he got into a fight with a guy at a bar and he got his gun stolen from him. He's beat guys up. He's one of those guys that goes to bars and has a big deal. Please tell check bag. Please tell us you have hold on. All right, let's see about this one. Please tell us about a time that you have reported or checked a bad officer and or struggles with that if you didn't. Shout out, Sean. Nice work. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. Do you have like a obviously now you don't have to go into specifics, but did you have any issues with that or?
Are we up?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, okay, yeah. It just my screen went blank. Yeah, I could talk about years ago. Like there was some. I can't really name specifics, but I got drug into a call where a couple of officers got in some serious trouble, and I didn't care what they thought. I didn't mean nothing. I told the truth, and I told the truth. The truth was they shouldn't have done that, and I stood by it to the commanders. I stood by it in the courtroom, and whatever repercussions were to come, were to come. But the truth was the truth. I've done that on quite a few occasions actually. I've
Okay.
arrested police officers back in the day.
Wow.
Nothing I can really.
I've never seen
but
anything
yes,
like
it's
that
happened.
before. I have never seen anything like that before. Police officer getting arrested. I've never seen it. This Billy Crystal. How about a merch collab? Proceeds go to his organization. I already said that, so it's already
Yes.
being done. You probably weren't here earlier in the live, so I'll forgive you. But I already said that, and you know, we're gonna hold on. Let me see, and we're gonna do that for sure, Matt. We're gonna do it. All right. I don't care how busy you are, how much
Mhm.
overtime you're working. We're gonna do it, and the proceeds will go to his organization.
I got you.
All right, let me see if there's any more questions really quick. I'll just reread. Any more questions? It's hard because the chat goes by so quickly.
Oh yeah, the thing that scrolls so fast.
Yeah, Sean will continue to pray for your protection, security, and wisdom for the next few steps pertaining to this trial. Thank you. I appreciate that. That's more than I could ever need or ask for. So, somebody wants to know from me what happened with did anything come about for the constable pushing you in Baton Rouge? I have not heard from Internal Affairs. Didn't expect to. I'm looking for an attorney to file a lawsuit there. Those guys were a bunch of tyrants. So stay tuned. When I know more, you guys know more. Not hiding anything. Look, appreciate what you guys are doing. We appreciate the support. Do you? Ooh, this is a good question. Does he wear the blue flag? Ooh, this is a good question. Get you in some hot water.
I'm glad they asked. I used to be okay with it when it came out because I understand we hold the line and all that. But when it started offending people and people like, I hear the other side of it, that it means a little bit more than that. And I've seen officers that I know are at war with the citizens. They're at war, and this is like their badge of honor to wear this blue line thing. And I'm like, I got rid of my stuff with that. I don't wear that thing.
Yeah, I'm all for freedom of speech and expression, but again, police officers, when you're working as a police officer, your rights, you don't have the same rights while you're on the clock as, a normal citizen would. And, just like in any private, even private companies, you can't just go into Walmart and do whatever you want. You have to listen to your bosses, and the bosses are the people in this case, and your local municipality. And for me, the blue line flag, I've just seen so many people that push it really hard, be really, really tyrant officers. And for me, it just symbolizes that why can't we all just be under the United States, the flag of the United States?
That's the way.
We're all part of We the People. There's no need for different flags. Because it's kind of, in my mind, it sets you apart. Again, it could have started off innocently. I don't know, and I'm sure there's so many police officers that wear it without even thinking about it, right? But I just think personally, it separates law enforcement. Now you have your own flag. It's like, why would you need that?
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, I totally agree. I may own one or two workouts because I get a lot of free gear. I cut them into workout shirts if I do it, but I think I got rid of every one that I have.
It's a terror flag. Go there.
Yeah, a lot of people see it that way.
I mean, yeah, people, and like I said, I don't support it at all. I don't want. I've seen people with tattoos on it. Sergeant Brian Fahey from Connecticut State Police Department from you know, you guys that watch my videos, you guys know he had like a tattoo of it with a skull, and he was just a bad, evil, in my opinion, individual. Um, Let me see here before we get out of here. So yeah, Matt, and I don't want to keep it too long, but you know, it was really, really nice talking to you. I loved the book. I'm really encouraging everybody out there, you know, if you can get the book. You know, I'm even thinking about buying, you know, a whole bunch of them just when I go to different police departments, just leave it there for them. I think that'd be really cool. Just like, here you go. You know, God bless you.
That'd be
You know,
great.
you know, you got to write a book about. You have to write a book about the more towards the de-escalation and
Mhm.
bridging the gap between the communities, more towards focus towards that. And I'll hand them out to every tyrant, and I'll just be like, here you go.
Well,
I'll start handing them out on my audience. You know, you should
a
read
few
this book.
chapters have already been written in that one, I promise you.
Good, good. I
Yeah,
can't
I'm
wait for
actually
it. You know, I'm thinking
writing
about writing a book myself. I'm like, this guy. I'm like, I want to write a book. I was like, I want to write a book. I was like, because you know, I've seen so much and I've done so much in such a short time. You know, I could write a book just on the state of Connecticut. Corrupticate is what I like to call it. But just on that state, just on that state alone, I can write a book. You know, but for all the trials and tribulations I've gone through, you know, behind the scenes with my family, with you know, people who stalk me and are obsessed with me, that make YouTube channels. That, you know, can you believe there's people that who have YouTube channels that are dedicated to berating me, obsessing over me. People have T-shirts with my face on it behind them, like a weird kind of shrine. Like, it's some crazy things that I have to deal with, man. And it's a lot of, you know, it's crazy, man. Writing memos and doing all this crazy stuff, and it's like, for what, man? Like, what are you doing? Like, don't you have anything? Why are you so invested in me? What do I do that you are so invested in? You allow hate to enter into your heart and destroy your life, because you're not going to have a good life if you live in life with hate in your heart. I'll tell you that right now.
It's never helped anything.
It's insane. You know, it's insane. Like, I hope you don't have. I hope nobody here watching here is some crazy person who's going to make a YouTube channel, you know, dedicated to stalking you. But it happened to me, man, and it's pretty scary, man. Like, it's a crazy thing. All right, well, let me see here. Yes, I will write a book, everybody. It's coming.
I got you. I got a publisher for you, show.
All right, you got a publisher for me? Cool. I would love to write a book. I would love to write a book. Yeah, man. So again, I want to show everybody your website really quick before we get out of here. Let's go over here, because I just think I think, you know, I wouldn't, and I want to let everybody know, I wouldn't be hyping up Matt here if I didn't. I did plenty of research on his what he does, and he does amazing work, man. You're really doing God's work, man, and that is why we the people. I got to get one of those big checks, Matt. I got to get one of those big. I want one of those big checks that you used to see back in the day, like, you know, it's $1,000, you know, not a million, but I want one of those big checks that say Long Island Audit, We the People, because I couldn't do it without We the People, and you know, I can't wait. Can't
That
wait.
is great, man. I appreciate you more than you know, brother.
Thank
We
you,
just
man.
keep
Thank
fighting,
you.
and we have.
We got to stay in touch. We got to stay in touch like we always do, and you know, keep talking. You know, I put on the title of this, you know, bridging the gap, #1, episode 1, right? Because you know, I'm speaking it into existence. You know, I want to invite any law enforcement officer out there, you know, anyone from around the country. If you would like to come and speak truth, we're not bashing the police. You know, if you watch this, like if you watch it, you'd see that never happened. But you know, we're just speaking the truth, and we're speaking that all good police officers and all police officers that honor their oath that they took to uphold the Constitution, they would have no problem with this conversation. None. The only people that are going to watch this and say that there's a problem are bootlickers who just worship the police no matter what they do, or, you know, police officers that are tyrants. Because you can't tell me that a productive conversation like this, you can't tell me that inviting a First Amendment auditor to do a training at a police department to give his personal views of, from what he's seen from around the country. You can't tell me that that's a bad thing. So,
No, you
it's
have
crazy.
you have a great voice and you use it correctly, man. That's why I love you to death, brother.
Thank you, man. Well, I'm gonna be getting out of here. I'm technically on vacation.
There you go.
I'm technically on vacation, but it's never worked to come talk to you. It was great. So I want to come give it to you in person. So August 10th, I want to come there. I'm gonna try and get a big check. If anybody knows where I can get a big check from, because I think it would be funny and cool. And I want to meet the kids, man. I want to meet the kids. I
Oh,
want to meet the
you'll
kids you
know
help.
them. There's so many, and they're all beautiful souls. I love them.
Yeah, man. Well, tell your wife I said hello, because I know she's the technical person behind all the gets you ready for all
Oh,
the lives and everything. I know she's the support. You can't do it without the family support. I know from personal experience. But yeah, man. Love you, brother. Keep up the good work. I hope it keeps going strong, and I wish you nothing but success. If you want to check out Matt's book, it's in the description below. You want to check out the nonprofit, My Father's Business, in the description below. His TikTok, YouTube, everything that he got over there is in the description. I invite you all to go check it out. Thank you, Matt, for coming on. Really appreciate you, man.
Thank you,
Hope to
brother.
talk to you again soon.
Yep, you too.
All right, man.
happened here then? Guess it finished. Well, that was quite interesting, the bits I heard. There's no smoke inside, but it stinks in this fucking cab. Right guys, I've got to stop it here. I need to make a phone call or text.